Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Now, even though Superior Iron Man buff details haven't been officially released for everybody by Kabam, they have apparently given permission for CCP members to talk and discuss them, which is exactly the reason why we are going to be using that information which they themselves have put out on YouTube. So a huge shout out to DLL, who obviously does also work for Kabam and does have his own YouTube channel. We're going to be using screenshots from his video in order to discuss Superior Iron Man's buff. And obviously, we're not going to compare him to how he used to be, because he quite literally has 3 abilities and none of them do much. He is basically as old and as vanilla of a champion as you can find in the game, where if you push him below 15%, he gets a regen. And he has armor break on level 1 and level 2 and level 3, each varying potencies and lengths. And he has a chance to gain armor up when attacking. That's literally all he does, effectively nothing. So, let's get back to what he does after the buff. Tony's armor reduces the potency of incoming bleed, incinerate, and shock effects by 50%. This is further increased by 15% for each unique superior buff active. So you would need to get, how many? 3, 4 unique buffs on you in order to bypass bleed, incinerate, and shock completely. However, if you do have the willpower mastery at max rank, which many people do, your base resistance gets increased to 65% per rank, which would mean that another 3 would completely make 3 unique buffs would make you completely immune to virtually all of these, well, bleed, incinerate, and shock debuffs. So that's kind of neat. So each buff active on Tony grants extra armor rating and also extra attack rating. So the more buffs you get, the more damage you're gonna receive and the tankier he's gonna become. The symbiotic nature of Tony's living armor protects him. He has a 25% chance to auto-block incoming basic attacks, while he has 3 or more unique superior buffs. Now, this is kind of going to be defensive ability, but you will not have to worry about it too much, presumably, because, well, we're going to explain how he gains his buffs. Another thing that I definitely had to note here is that his willpower potency is reduced by 75%, and that sucks. That's really crappy thing. There's no way around it. You never want to see that. You do want to get your full willpower mastery, because that is an absolute clutch of a mastery. And 75% is a lot of penalty. It's pretty much the highest reduction, or almost the highest reduction they have seen. Because even you notice the willpower reduction on Kingpin a lot, for instance, and that's 50 or 60% reduction. 75%, he's basically going to be healing nothing from willpower. He does his own generic regeneration, though. So let's get back to the topic on point. While he has 5 or more unique superior buffs, the chance to auto-block is increased to 100%, and it can now trigger parry mastery. After triggering this way, Tony's auto-block goes on cooldown for 20 seconds. Now again, because it is a guaranteed ability, you will be able to use this offensively as well. I do not think he's going to be capable of getting to 5 unique buffs outside of some very specific matchups or scenarios as a defender. So there we go. His superior buffs. Tony Stark is better than you, and so are his buffs. All of his personal buffs are superior, gain bonus 100% ability accuracy, and have a max stack of 8 unless otherwise stated. That means that Neutralize, for most part, will not do anything to him. He can't really do much with Tigra against the guy. Unless otherwise stated, superior buffs last 35 seconds minus 8.25 seconds for each unique personal armor up, energy resistance, critical resistance, regeneration, or amplify active, and are paused during special attacks. So, the initial buffs are going to last a very long time, the later ones not so much. Using his pre-fight ability, Tony can choose to make his first buff a superior energy resistance, armor up, or amplify. So you can pick one to begin the fight, and that will have the longest duration as well. Intercepting the opponent with a medium attack or striking them with a second medium attack randomly grants 1 unique core superior buff that Tony does not already have. So you're going to want to get in some medium combos or do medium intercept. Intercepting the opponent with light attack or striking them with a fourth light attack randomly grants 2 core superior buffs of a type Tony already has. So this is where you build them up further, higher, faster, I suppose. Intercepting, okay, read that. Refresh all the superior buffs whenever a new unique superior buff activates. This does not apply to Superior Fury or Superior Power Gain, which he gets from his level 3 and level 1 respectively. So in his base, you can get 5 buffs. You start with 1, you land in 2 intercepts, you're at 3, and so on and so forth. Let's move on. Superior armor up, increased armor rating by 250. That's a very minor armor up. At max, that's like less, 2k armor rating increase or something like that. It's not massive. Increase energy resistance by 250. Increase critical resistance by 250. The critical resistance could be quite helpful, making him tankier. Superior regeneration. Regenerate 1.43 health every second. This increases by 150% while below 60% health, where he can recover much faster. So he could actually be quite a lively lad that's able to absorb a lot of chip damage. And Superior Amplify increases ability power rate by 12.5%. And the ability power rate is going to be important by his level 1. Also, Heavy Attack. Charging a Heavy Attack grants Superior Instinct buff for 10 seconds, enabling Tony to trigger the parry mastery against non-contact attacks. Now, there is kind of a catch-22 here. Relic helps with this, and a few other things too, but the point is, in order to charge a heavy attack, typically you need to parry. If opponent's main attack types are projectiles, you will not be able to stun him like that. But obviously, you can achieve that by reparrying, for instance, against Havoc, and then having easier time to parry. Or, for instance, against Shuri, you can activate Relic, drop a heavy attack, and then parry Shuri normally. But 10-second duration on this buff is not too long to reliably use with Relic, for instance. For each unique superior buff on Tony, inflict on special attack 1. For each unique superior buff on Tony, inflict an armor break debuff, each reducing armor rating by 45.9. That's a tiny armor break. That's really what it is. For 10 seconds. If 2 or more unique superior buffs are active, gain a superior power gain buff, granting 40% of a bar of power over 10 seconds. This buff will not trigger if already active. And remember that you can increase this with your Amplify as well. And if you have 8 of these, for whatever reason, that would be increased by 100%, and that would give you 80% of a bar of power. Still, it's not going to be the most potent power gain, I think. Let's go to Special Attack 2. On activation, gain 1 copy of each active core superior buff. Nice. That's like immediate ramp up to full. Inflict an unstacking armor break debuff for 15 seconds, reducing armor rating by 39.7, with 50% increased potency each buff on Tony. Now this seems like a lot chunkier armor break, where you could potentially find a lot more damage, and also helps you ramp up faster. Special Attack 3, gain Superior Fury buff, increasing attack rating by 2k basically for 10 seconds. While Fury is active, pause all other superior buffs. Neat. You still probably, long fights maybe. Signature ability, Extremis Overload. Further exploration of the exploitation of Extremis 3.0 virus grants Tony incredible rejuvenation capabilities while below 30% health, increase the potency of superior regenerations by 300%. That means those regens could probably put in a lot of work. More time in the suit allows Tony to reduce the cooldown of Endosim auto block by up to 50%. Whenever Tony is inflicted with a bleed, incinerate, or shock effect, pause his personal buffs for up to 2 seconds. In some matchups, this is going to be incredibly helpful, but overall, I think he's perfectly usable as a champion unawakened as well. And as far as synergies goes, I don't think there's anything too crazy, but with Ant-Man Future, and Cassie Lang, Tony's suit advances further, allowing him to ensure second superior buff gained by medium attacks will be superior regeneration with 10%, so you kind of have a control a bit on that. Only affects him though. And with Daredevil, Hell's Kitchen, Superior Iron Man, for each fight the team has won, increase the attack rating gained per superior buff by 10% up to 100%. Now in long quest could be neat, but who wants to use Daredevils? So Iron Man, updated synergy for Silver Centurion, for Iron Man, Superior Iron Man, Fury, Superior Fury and armor ups gain 25% increased potency. Neat. Nice. That's about it. So synergy is nothing crazy. Overall though, he seems almost entirely offensively oriented with not that much of utility, realistically. Like, if you look at his kit, you know, only kind of like new thing in there is, obviously, aside from having a ton of buffs and regen, I suppose, but he's got a bit of power gain on level 1s, but you'll typically want to probably go for level 2s anyway. And he still just has the armor break, and he can parry, non-contact attacks after a heavy attack. So I don't know. We'll see how he works out. His damage should hopefully be quite up there. It shouldn't be too hard to use if you're comfortable with the intercept. The one glaring thing that I think is missing from his kit is some sort of AI modification to make the intercepts easier, because he's effectively relying on you constantly intercepting and doing two different types of intercepts. Yes, you have the slow alternatives of, doing full combos, finishing with mediums or lights, but realistically, you'll want to intercept with him to ramp him up fast, and without something like Taunt or Infuriate, it could be a lot harder to do. Overall, though, very much so look forward to trying to use the guy. Obviously, I really like Superior Iron Man. Out of all of the Iron Man design in the game, he has always been my favorite. I think he looks really cool. I like the armor concept, and I hope he's going to be good. I really do. I hope that regeneration's potent. I hope his arm breaks are potent, and I hope he feels great to use. Have my worries about his matchups, why you'd want to put him in your Battlegrounds deck, or why you'd want to use him in Alliance War, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Meanwhile, I'm going to get him. I'll probably take him up to at least rank 4, test him out once the buff is live, and then we're going to decide what we think of him. Let me know your thoughts, and I'm going to catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all